Happy Saturday, everyone. So I've been working a lot on my plate on various projects, but honestly I haven't done that much this week because I had some pretty unfortunate news on Tuesday. My dad passed away. So starting the video out like this may seem a little but honestly it's hard for me. So just want to let you guys know up front that I wanted to get this Saturday's video out, but probably the next two videos I might not be able to get out because I have to travel back to Maryland. That's where my family lives, and it's just, you know, me and my sister really having to organize so much stuff and everything. I know those of you who have been in this position before know what I mean. So just want to let you guys know that I won't be the next two Saturdays. I'll post some community posts, so look out for the community posts for the channel, and I'll kind of keep you guys updated and what have you. But I was working on this plate, and you guys seem to enjoy the large plate so much the last time, and I have tons of projects I can do on this plate. So and as I'm continuing to flush so many things out related to the book and different projects and all that kind of stuff, I thought let's mix some techniques. All these techniques are in the book, so those of you who purchased it, it's going to be at the bookstores on October 28th. That's when it's supposed to hit the shelves. And in the meantime, all of you that did the pre-sales on Amazon I think starts shipping November 2nd, I believe, so they'll all be going out to you, so you'll be getting them very soon. And yeah, so I am working. I've been it's crazy because, as I told you last week, I had some good news, is that the book has now been sold to a French publishing house, and they're going to be translating it in French, and so it'll be 18 months for that because it's a process for the whole thing. And I've had another team out of the UK reach out to me. It's their international marketing team because it's already going to be in English, obviously, but and so we're working on some projects for some other international things, so it's pretty exciting. So I'm fleshing out techniques, and I'm thinking about different kinds of ways that I can create shorts and videos and reels and stuff for Schiffer to be able to use in marketing promotion. So since I was going to do that, I've been working on the plate a lot more and combining various techniques. So this is going to be a combined technique. These techniques are some of the ones that I flesh out in the book. And the one thing about the way the book was written is I did it so that not only each chapter builds on itself, but then you can kind of do a la carte with the chapters. So you may be able to take something from chapter 6 and use it with chapter 7. And so the whole idea is you can a la carte the various chapters, and as many different ways as you can think of combining the techniques will be as many different ways as you'll be able to do some fun things on the gel plate. So you know, I haven't shown the gel plate, the large one, a lot on YouTube, and primarily I've always tried to keep a lot of my YouTube videos easy, affordable, easy, and not overly complicated. And the larger plate does take a little bit more to work with. And so, you know, I've done them with my patrons, and I've had master classes with the large plate. So I've been working on this plate for more than 6 years. In fact, when it first came out, Luann from Gelli Arts reached out to me, and she sent me one of the very first large plates. So I've been on this plate for a long time, and so sharing it out with you all is kind of is sort of new, though, isn't it? It's just funny how that goes. So what I want to do today is I'm going to combine a few techniques using matte acrylic paints, and you'll see why, because matte will work better for this technique. But matte acrylic paints, we're going to do my Mark Rothko style, so it's going to be 1, 2, and 3 combination colors. We'll just see how that fleshes out. I'm going to be using this amethyst, celadon. I'm going to use the Paper Artsy butter. These two are Blick. I'm probably I might grab some other colors, but I'm kind of work with this palette and sort of see. I am going to work with a gray too. I have a gray scale color I'll get my hands on. And oh, let me pull this one up. And yeah, so I'll get started, and I know I'm going to pull from my cart over here other things, but they're all going to be matte, so keep that in mind. Now you can do this technique with your regular acrylics if you don't have matte. It just doesn't, it's not quite as absorbent, you'll see. And also alcohol ink, I mean not alcohol ink, I have a bottle of spray alcohol, and then I'm going to be using SETH spray dyes, or if you have distress stains from Tim Holtz, you can use those. And so we're just going to kind of get in here and just really make some sort of an interesting combination of techniques. Now you can do this technique and then you can do other techniques on top of it. You can collage on top of it. You can come back and paint on top of it. You can do stencils, stamp. You can do a lot of different things on top of it if you just want to make it as a background. I'm going to flush it out a little bit more than a background, but the main thing is to kind of show you the techniques. I'm going to work with that and probably my Sumi inks to do some brush work on top of it, and I may actually use some of the Posca pens to do some of my intuitive scripting. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with the Celadon, and so let's start with one color. So I'm going to get a one color. So this is a matte, so we just want to get a good coverage. My plate is a little dirty, so it's going to pick up some. It doesn't have a lot on here, but sort of move these out the way. This plate is big, and then just to have enough space so that you guys can see it within the camera frame is also okay. We're going to start off with this one color. Okay. And then I'm going to take and spray some alcohol. This is just regular old rubbing alcohol. And that's going to start breaking up our surface a little bit. And then you can sort of see it, it'll start breaking it up. And then I'm going to come back with some, I'm going to use Seth's Silver Shine. Now I can't fool around with this too long because, so I'm going to just start with that. Get my paper. We're going to do a few different layers, so let's go ahead and put this down. So we're going to get started. So I started with the bad news. It was on my mind. I just wanted to get it out. It's been rough. It just happened on Tuesday, and I'm doing this video on Wednesday. So there you go. It's fresh. But my name is Robin McClendon. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, if you're new and you enjoy what you see me doing here, please hit the bell all so you can subscribe. And those of you who are regulars and enjoy my work, please hit the bell. Please hit the thumbs up that you enjoy the channel and what I'm doing, and that really helps the channel grow and algorithms be pushed out. So here we are. So let's first see what we get. So what you're going to see is we're going to start getting some speckling, and see it's starting to pick some of the stuff off the plate as well. So some of that gold that was down there, see, it's picked up. I'm going to bring it up closer so you see how you start seeing this. See if I can get you guys to see it good. I can see it real good. Okay, right there. See that? So that's kind of all over it. And I really like how it just starts breaking up the surface some. And it starts giving this sort of feel of like, almost sort of like stone lithography. Just gives it a little extra something. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more alcohol down. And I'm going to spray some more colors. I'm going to go back to this silver shine. And I'm going to get a little bit of this, no, it's saffron. I'm going to get a little bit of this honey. And let's do a little bit of this, this is copper buff, because it gives a little bit of little metallic. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with some more of the alcohol. And then I'm going to get my brayer. Now you can keep it, you know, like it is. I just kind of like to make larger swipes, and just kind of, it makes, not only does it mix the colors together a bit, but you kind of get some larger puddling, you see, versus just the small sprays. So you get a combination of stuff going on there. Then we'll come back with our same piece. This is our base. And this is where the importance of the matte paints come in, because the matte paint is absorbent. It doesn't create this same very strong acrylic barrier that the acrylic paints do. So it's really going to absorb this. I really like this technique because it's very random, but it makes a pretty surface. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so see how we get that really cool surface here? And so that Celadon acts as just a background. So what I'm going to do here, sometimes what I'll do, depending on how much, I don't have enough, I'll just put it down like this. Sometimes I'll take my brayer and just brayer some of this so that I don't have, so it's not so regular in the same direction. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm using the brayer and I'm just moving some of the color around, and it just helps to change the direction of some of the puddles, and it kind of smooths them out. And I kind of just do them in areas where they kind of are, but I'm still leaving a lot of the. So now this is really looking good because we can see how the gold is popping through from the extra that was on the plate. See how you just get this really beautiful background. So from here we are going to now come back with I'm gonna use a matte medium because I really want not only do I need to use a matte medium, I need to get my sumi and my brush setups. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let me get the matte medium. So we're going to put down a layer of matte medium, just a thin layer. I'm going to do my sumi painting on. So you guys who've been around a while know my intuitive scripting and also my sumi just mark making brush strokes. So it's one of my favorite things to do on a gel plate. And let me get this, use a larger brayer. Let me get a little bit more down here too. Just want to get a good layer. Same thing, you do about the same sort of layer that you do of paint. Not too thick, not too thin. You have to really look really good too, because by it being clear, I kind of look sideways on the plate, and that helps me to see where the matte medium is. So this would be my intuitive scripting on the gel plate. So there's a chapter on how to work with the inks on the plate. So now I'm going to load my brush here. Okay, so now I'm going to take this same sheet, lay it back down, and pick this up. And here again, just letting the paper absorb the ink. And that way you get a really interesting, complex background, pretty much like if you were painting actually, right? And then doing some mark making. In my case, I like doing the scripting and my brushwork on top. And then we can pick it up. And voila! Here you are. There we are. And you can see how beautiful the line is, and it almost looks like it's on stone or something. The alcohol really breaks things up. And I just love working with this. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm going to let it dry, but I would come back probably with another ink, white or gold, and I would print on top of it, and I just kind of would keep on building it up, and maybe we'll get back to it once this dries. So let's go ahead and start on another piece, but in the meantime, I'll pick this off the plate by just putting down some, oh, you know, I'll just use some of my you guys know I use this, oh boy, I'm sorry. Of course, I'm thinking about a million things, you guys can imagine. But the glassine, you've seen me use this before, and there's links under the video for all these different papers. So if you're new and you've never used this glassine, it can be gotten on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is I put it down, because it's pretty absorbent. And I'm going to try to pick up a lot of this. So when I start again, most of this is gone. Okay. And then this paper I will use also. So I'll keep on printing on this. It just becomes a base to start more prints on. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and try the amethyst as a base color. And so we're going to do that, and I'm going to do, so this would be the Mark Rothko, where I'm doing 2 tones on the plate. You can do 2, 3. Those of you who know Mark Rothko's work, you know how he did those amazing palettes of 2 and 3 colors, and they were just so expressive. And so because I love his work, and I love that idea of creating the multicolor background on the plate, you can ombre it. And then we can move into this color here. Sometimes I put a color right in the middle to create a strip. So So now that's done. Let's go ahead and get, what color do I have? I love this tea stain by Tim Holtz too. So let's just go ahead and put some of that down there. And in here, let's go for, another color here. Where are we? I have like a sort of a blue-gray I love. For some reason I'm not seeing it. Of course that would be the case, right? This is coffee. Black soot. Okay, I don't see it, so I'm going to use a little coffee. So in this top half, I'll use coffee. And then let's go ahead again. Spray the whole thing with don't be afraid of the alcohol ink. The more you spray, the more it's going to sort of create that model, that sort of stone, you know, effect. Sometimes I put a lot, even more than what I'm doing right now on the plate. But when you start working with it, you can play with it and you'll see what it does. So this technique is also in the book. I think that chapter is working with alcohol on the gel plate. Okay, so let it absorb. It's wet enough that we don't have to worry about too much sticking to the plate or anything. So just kind of let it absorb. Yeah, this is yummy. So you can see what it started doing down there. So the thinner letter of the paper layer, the paper artsy. This layer right here is a little thicker than I normally do, but I'm okay with that. One of the things I do though, when I do make it a little thicker than what I want, I will just come back and grab a waste sheet and put it down, and you literally can pull more off. So sometimes I will do that just to kind of correct and get some of that extra paint off. So there. You can see quite a bit transferred still. So yeah. So don't ever feel you're stuck with something. Okay, I'm loving that. I mean, you can see how we got a lot of diversity. And then the old ink that was down there, you see what's happening with it? That's pretty cool. So now let's the other thing, okay, I'm gonna show you. I don't really like how that stripe is there like that. So you can literally put alcohol down. Take a paper towel, and you can literally start, you can actually move it around so you don't, because I don't really want that line the way it is. So I'm just showing you things that I do when I'm in studio working. I mean, this is, a lot of these are just printmaker techniques. You know, you play until you get what you want. And this is ink. So the nice thing about ink is it dries fast. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, since I have this band here, and see how I started knocking it back? That's really good. You really can knock it back and move the color around. Okay. Cool. So now what I think I'm going to do there, in this area right here, I'm going to, okay, so this is printing in real time. This is what I'm doing when I do something and I either want to correct it or I like what's going on there. So I just want to get so let's come back with let me get some more of that off. Because I think I can come back with a little bit more of the I have the Paper Artsy in the white. Where is it? I really like the Paper Artsy paints. I'm just getting some more of this off of here. Makes it easier. Pick up. So, the Paper Artsy is called a fresco paint. Okay, good. That's good. So let me see, do I have the matte acrylic, the Blick matte acrylic in the white? So that's what I'm looking for. Here we are. This is good. So we're going to take this white and I'm going to put this down. And we're going to work on top of what we have here. Look at this. So you see you have a lot more room, honestly, first of all, on this plate. So it really takes you working through your ideas. It's not one of those things you just come to and just start printing. I would say your favorite techniques that you do on your smaller plate, first start off by applying that on this plate. Because those techniques you're already going to know from the smaller plate, and then just apply them large. You know, that's one way of doing it when you first kind of get started with it. So I'm kind of creating a pattern while I'm really doing what you call in martial arts wax on, wax off. So it's on there, but I'm also thinning it out and taking some of it off. And that's a way to thin out my paint to get it to exactly where I want it. And still keep some texture going in it. Okay. It's going to end up covering up a good amount of that purple, but hopefully we'll get enough wicking on this alcohol ink there. Yep, it's starting to go. That, let's spray some of this stone on there. This is Tim Holtz's pumice stone in the Distress Oxide spray. Sometimes with this I'll get a little greening going on because of the alcohol, and I love that. So we want to encourage, see what's going on there? We really want to encourage that. Because what that's going to do is going to give me some open areas for me to, so that purple will come back through. But I'll still get this coat on top of it. Okay, I'd say we're pretty good there. Let's see what we get. So I'm kind of want to make sure I sort of line up this purpley area a little bit with the base of this. I'm going to kind of use my finger to be the guide, since I'm printing just the top half of the paper. So there's a lot of fun techniques. And I'm using that thicker paper again, the Strathmore. You can use Reeves BFK. I use that a lot too. I'm using like, it's like 300 GSM type of thing, so it's pretty thick. You want a thick paper when you're working with these larger. I mean, you can play around with your thinner sheets. You can't do too much overprinting because, of course, without letting them dry in between, because you get a little bit too much texture. I mean, you'll get too much moisture and then it'll tear. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh yeah. Okay, so see how we knock that purple back, the amethyst, and then, you know, I get this. I kind of roll it to get rid of those, some of those puddles. Like, I really don't like a lot of those in my work, but if you do, you don't have to get rid of them. But using the brayer is really good for this. So then we get this, which is really good. Okay. So you see how when you start working with the plate, a large plate, you really want to work with it. It gives you a lot more opportunity to get so many more techniques on your plate. And so with this, you can really work the plate in sections. You don't have to do it all the time. You can come back with your other tools and work into it, like I'm even doing with this smaller brayer. And so when this dries, it just really gets even better. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do some of my scripting on top of that. So I'm going to come back with the same paper here, lay this down, see how much I can absorb. And then what I'm going to do is I have this jacquard luminary, and it's in a highlight red. I love this. I'm going to put some of this down and then do my scripting on top of it, and some really cool things happen. Okay, you see how I just keep on building this up too. And it's really great to use as mark making paper, stuff in your collage. I come back and mark on top of it, so nothing gets wasted here in my studio. Okay, so I'm going to take the luminary and I'm going to take, this is highlight red. I apply this with one of my palette knives. Well, I get it down first. I still use my brayer, but get a nice layer of it, because this plate is big. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Now I kind of messy sort of do this on because I really don't want it to be, I kind of want it to sort of be pretty painterly. Okay, then what I'm going to do is get my brush. Let me just get, using my ink here, but just a, okay, so let's go back now using the same piece, and let's pick this up. Get some really cool prints this way. Just keep building up. And one of the old printmakers' adages, same as painting, if you don't like it, keep doing layers until you like it. Because you can keep on covering up and taking sections and moving. Like I didn't like that whole big deep thing of purple. So you see I used some alcohol ink, moved it around, smoothed it out, took some off, came back with the white matte and was able to push it back to a really nice pale white lavender, which I liked. I think it goes nicely with that butter color. And then we can pull this. And so we get some really cool stuff happening. And this original bit that was on the plate when we started this is still laying underneath there. And then with my scripting on top, Just, and then that highlight red, I don't know if you can see it. See how it's kind of interferon. See how it catches the light there? So it's very subtle, but it's really beautiful. And I love using it with the ink underneath. So when this is dry, you can see we've just got a beautiful composition there. It's very dense. There's a lot going on in the background, lots of texture, a lot of lithography marks going on. They have a really litho mark there. The brush work, and as this dries down, that highlight red comes up more. It's just so pretty. So I'll have a picture of this once it's dry, you'll see. But yeah, so there we are. Wow, we've been at this for over half an hour for sure. So these two are, well, I do want to come back. I'm going to show you this one. I'd come back and do like a gold over it. I have a gold. Let me see. Where's my gold? I hope I have it here. So I'm going to move this over here, because I can come back with, well, this I'd have to pick up, but I'll be back. I'll show you. Okay, so I want to pull this, and this could still be a really good print, believe it or not. So what I'll do is I'll put a mixture of white, and I'm going to put some of this, the white's going to help. Even though I'm doing it on a white paper, it's going to give us a nice mixed background. And I'm going to use some of this. It's a craft paint, but I love this. It's champagne. It's by Craftsmark. And it's what I use a lot for glazing. So let's see how we can sort of mix this. I'm going to put this down here, but it should give us sort of an interesting texture. Although I have too much on here, so you can see I need to take some of this off. So first get everything rolled out the way you would want it. And then start brayering off. So what I do is, just on this, the paper on the side here, just brayer it off until you can start seeing your stuff through it. That's the trick. You should be able to see your image that you're picking up, like that ghost print. You should be able to see it through it. Because in order for me to really get a good pickup under what's underneath, this top has to be pretty tacky and thin. But you still want it to, you know, be moist. So you can see how that's starting to show through now. Probably can see it a bit. So this is just about done. Yeah. Okay, that's good. We can really see that there now. See that? So I have a fresh sheet of paper. Let's lay it down. Slide it over just a little bit. And now we're really going to let this stay on here a bit so we can pick it up. So probably leave it on here about maybe even 5 minutes, because I really want it to connect. And I want to get as much of it up as we can. It should make a good print, but definitely a ghost print that I can work back on top. And I do a lot of collaging on top of my pieces of stuff that I've printed before, my mark making, vintage ephemera, you name it. So make sure you have a really good bond. Okay, so I'll be back. Let this sit a minute. I probably would use my antique papers. I have a whole bin of them here. And when I'll just kind of show you a little bit. So when I go to start working, I kind of come in here and I find stuff that's really appealing. So maybe something like this, not this exactly, but I might look at this and decide that I want to use a bit of it. These Asian papers are so beautiful. They're translucent that you could actually kind of maybe even center a whole piece like this at the bottom and just kind of connect, you know, sort of incorporate the old with the new, and yet you can still see that print underneath there really nicely. I could also get something, like a lot of times I'll use bits of stuff, like this is a really old document, and so maybe what I would do is also maybe just take a portion of this. Maybe I'd find that I could run it down the side here, so I'd rip bits of it, but I love this old edge, so probably would try to incorporate that in some kind of way. So yeah, you know, I come back and start working with a lot of my vintage ephemera to build these prints up. So just to give you an idea of what I would do with something like that. But we're going to finish up by doing the gold on that last piece. So the gold, I don't have my gold sumi, which is what I was looking for, but I have my KRINK. I love this stuff. This is a company out in New York that does graffiti. So this is like mostly graffiti artist paint. But I got some and decided I was going to experiment on the gel plate, and I love it. That's why you see all this staining here. It's this gold, but I don't care. I love it. The staining doesn't affect the plate, nor does it affect your prints. So let's go back and look at this one. So what I want to do is I want to run some gold in here, some more mark making, and I feel like I'm going to do some right in here somewhere, just to bridge this area a bit and still kind of keep what I have, the overall, because I really love what's happening around the sides, the edges, the modeling that's going on. So I'm going to kind of lay the plate down. I'm going to sort of figure, okay, I want it kind of in that area. So I'm going to do some of my graffiti scripting. Okay, now let's go ahead and lay this down kind of right there. So I should pick it up pretty good. Now that paint, it hangs on the plate. It is a strong paint now. I'm going to let you know that. So if you're kind of sensitive to smells and stuff like that, this product might not be the one for you, but it will. You can lay it right on that plate and it'll transfer really nicely to the print. Sometimes I turn it over so I can just see what it's looking like. So I can see my placement there. That's perfect. Right in there. So we're seeing what that looks like. Okay. We should be able to pick it up. So these are just some of the few of the ways, techniques that I work on the plate, and these are all in the book. Like I said, a lot of them are a la carte, so you'll be able to mix and match. Oh, this is good. See that? Yum. Perfect. So I like the way that print is finished off. So I have sort of my scripting and my graffiti script. I call it intuitive scripting. And I like the way this paint will, if I leave it on there the entire time and like really let it dry, it'll pick it all up. But I like to see the brush mark. See, so I like the way I can sort of see through the paint to the layers below and really get this really cool brush marking and stuff that's on there. So there we have it. So we did these three. That one was the first one. We came back and did some layers. Two. Here we have this one, which was our ghost. It's just really, really good. And then we have this one, which we worked on. I really love it. I love the color palette and just the way everything is laying there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. large plate session, and more to come. But I'll keep you posted in the community section when I'll be back. It'll be probably for sure 2 Saturdays I'll be off because of all of the things that I have to do back east. And love you all. I will keep you posted. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you supporting me and the channel. You guys mean the world to me. I know we've just been chatting it up in Premiere. I love you all. And yeah, I'll see you back in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.